Hey, good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to a brand new edition, new season of the Collab Show here on Indigo Inspire Live. And we are so grateful to have you guys come back with us after this long, hot summer. And we want to take this opportunity to get you guys to share and tag this live because we are going in today with an all new brand new show. We're going to be spotlighting the event that's going to be happening for the pre-dub event. And so make sure you share this live. We are coming in live in studio here from Philadelphia and waiting for my brother Sherwin Williams from Gospel Music Buzz to step in, and we're going to get this party started. I see already in the building the one and only, listen, Titus Showers is in the building. Jay is in the building. Gospel Music Buzz is here, and we're about to get this brand new season of the Collab Show started right now. And as you are coming in, please make sure you share this live. We are going to have an amazing time tonight talking about what's happening with Urban Soul Cafe and their pre-dub event happening in Nashville on Monday, October 16th. So we are excited to talk about that. And listen, my dude, you better rock the gear.
What's up? What's happening? Can you hear me?
Better rock the gear, sir. Come on, Gospel Music Buzz with 3 Z's.
Is that weather? Is that Gear's weather right now? So if they haven't gotten theirs, they know where to go. gospelmusicbuzz.com/shop. Let's get it.
Absolutely. And for those of you who see me rocking the new gear, we get ready for this season as well on shopindigo.com. The denim jacket.
Happening?
And baby, check out.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
Listen.
I'm with it.
We are coming in hot. We are coming in hot this season, and we've got so many amazing things and announcements to make really quickly and shortly. So I'm actually going to put my ears in and get this music down a little bit, and so we're going to go ahead and get started. Sherwin, dude, how was your summer?
How was my summer, man? I mean, the summer just came and went. Summer came, summer went. A lot of work, but also it took some time away. The family and I went out to Mexico. Never been to Cancun before, so that was pretty dope. All of us went out there. Family of 6 is always interesting when you're booking a trip with a lot of people and you're out there. A lot of logistics, but overall, it was great. We enjoyed the time. So did that. Caught a few concerts, shows here and there. I know, I was just about a week or so ago at the Erica Campbell album released over at what is that? SOBs?
Yes.
SOBs? No, Sony Hall. Yeah. Over at Sony Hall. I went to a few stuff over the summer at SOBs as well too. I know Governor Gibbs had some of his events there. Anthony Ponder, Soul Therapy Sundays, they had a few events there too. So overall, it was great. Got a mixture of everything.
Listen, some people's chestnuts were roasting on open fire. It wasn't even Christmas. I'm just saying.
Hilarious.
I'm just saying. So no, for us here at Indigo Inspire, we have been, even though it's the summer for everybody else, but we are actively working because of the things that we are doing, particularly in preparation with our nonprofit. And so we'll be talking about that a little later on in the show about something that's going to be coming up this fall and in a couple of weeks. We really have a major announcement, and Sharon already knows what that is, but we're going to drop that a little bit later.
Time.
It's really exciting times. But here tonight, once again, we are dedicating tonight to the one and only Urban Soul Cafe. Our brother, listen, Carlos Hale is once again doing his thing at the pre-dub event. And so we are excited about that. And we're going to talk about that. And we actually have a couple of the guests already here. Let's give a couple of shout outs. Hey, the Governor Gibbs is in the building.
I was just talking about Governor. Him. Look at that. Gov, what's good?
We were just talking about you in a good way, too. We were just talking about you in a good way. But anyway, great to see everybody. Guess what? This weekend, it marks the first day of fall, September 23rd. And soon after, We'll be setting our clocks back. Oh, we'll be getting our hour back. Oh, trust and believe, we will be getting our hour back. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So let's go and get this party started. I know we have on deck. We're going to bring them into the room. We're waiting for Will Johnson to come in. I didn't see Will. Let me see if he is in here. Let's see what Titus is here. So we're going to go and get started with Titus.
Yeah, bring in Titus. Yeah,
bring in Titus. And we're also going to bring in the one and only, our beautiful sister, Jay, in the building. I'm hyped about that. Come on in his room, Titus. Come on in the room. Listen. Yo.
Bless you.
My bro, what's good? What's good? What's up, man? How are you?
Man, I'm great over here chilling.
You are busy. You know, so much has happened since the last time you were with us here on Indigo Inspire Live. You done got yourself a wife. What?
Got myself a wife. I was married now.
That's it, ladies. That's it. You lost your shot. You know, when the brother was out there, you lost your shot, ladies. That's it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yes, indeed. She's awesome.
The book is closed. The black book has been burned. I don't need nobody's DMs. Y'all go ahead and get yourself some relief someplace else. It's a cold winter for y'all, but Titus is not the one to be snuggled with. So I'm just saying.
That's right.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And our brother, your co-host is coming into the room, and I know we're going to bring him in right now with you, and we're going to talk to Jay right after, because there's so many things with Jay we want to talk about and some new projects he has going on. So we're going to bring you into the building and have you come right on in. Come on in the room. Will, just see, put you in here. Where are you, sir? Will, I am.
For anyone that's joining in, we're going to be talking about all things Urban Soul Cafe pre-DOS party that's going down Monday, October 16th. So you want to make sure you come into town by the 16th, before the 16th, so you can enjoy all the activities that's going to be going down on the 16th. Again, you're going to have your host, Titus Showers, there. We're going to have Jay, comedian Will Johnson. You got DJ Rome, choir rehearsal with friends. It's going to be an amazing event. So we're going to be getting into all things that tonight.
Listen, hey, Will, send me a request, because for some reason, I don't know why I cannot pick you up in here. So I definitely want you to come on in here. So just send me a request, and I will bring you directly in the room. In the meantime, Titus, how has your summer been? I know it's been hot, but you have got so much going on, and particularly you just got finished the basketball game at the Stellars. You were back again. Y'all did your thing again. Right. So so much is happening with you. So let's catch up on what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Definitely. You said it all when you said it was hot. It was a hot summer here in Louisiana. We received record-breaking temperatures here. The Lord has still been good through it all. Had a chance to spend time with the wife. You know, did a little small vacation and setting up things for her 45th that's coming up. So she didn't want to do too much in the summer. She wanted to do it big for her birthday. So definitely, man, we made it through the summer with the record-breaking temperature. Loved on our family. Been working in the midst of it all. New records. I was able to have billboards blasted in New York City.
Times Square, man.
Times Square, man. What a blessing. God is blessing in a mighty way. We continue to put out great music for the people of God, and we are excited for what is to come. And we're honored to be here on this amazing platform. Thank you so much for having me. Shout out to Carlos. Shout out to you two amazing people for supporting me throughout the years. And I'm honored to be here tonight and ready to support others when we go into the Dove War weekend. So let's get it.
Absolutely. And shout out to your team, because I know it takes more than just one person to make these type of accomplishments happen. Amen. So Apostle Girl Howard, we want to shout out to her and the rest of your team for really making it do what it do, because you cannot do it alone in these streets. So we're excited about as well, and want to give honor where honor was due.
That's right.
So now, speaking of that, we're trying to get Will in here. So let's talk about, first of all, how did Carlos lasso you again? Listen, Carlos, he always has something up his sleeve. I promise you, he does.
He's amazing, man. So why wouldn't I be here? He extended it, the invitation, and I was like, absolutely, excited to be with you guys participating in this amazing Dove weekend. So Carlos does so much for other artists. He's always been a big supporter of mine, and so why not be there for him when he needs me the most? So I'm excited about it, and I'm honored because you two were, a part of this as well, so it doesn't get any better than that. So God is good, and so are you guys. So let's go get it.
Oh,
are you going to be playing? Are you going to be playing again? I know, based upon what I saw with Lamont, they have another going into the weekend. They're going to be another basketball game for the Dogs. So okay, got it. So
I'm
you're
retired, bro, because Bishop Sapp didn't give me enough minutes at the Stellar Award weekend. So I was like, let me just retire. You know what I'm saying? Hang up my cleats, hang up my jersey. You know
what? But how you? So you're gonna leave just on top, man. You're just gonna leave on top. Y'all got it.
My trophy. I got my trophy.
That's how you do it.
I got my trophy. I'm number one. We won the championship in Las Vegas, so I'm excited about that win, and I'm gonna hold on to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Miss Mita.
Mita, Washington. What up, Mita?
Mita. What's up? What is up? Happy fall, everybody. I'm saying fall because remember, fall is on the 23rd of September. So please make sure you get your sweaters out the cleaners. That's all I'm saying. Get your sweaters out of the cleaners. So,
kind of going in, I was going to say real quick, while you're still working on getting people in,
because Jay's
Patrice.
You can bring her in too.
Yeah. So what I was going to ask is, Titus, so how many times have you attended the Dove Awards so far?
I've been 3 times.
3 times.
I was able to sing at a pre-show event with Root Magazine. I was also a part of the red carpet festivities. I also had a what you would call a presentation delivered to me at a brunch. When I released my album Who, my record label and my team surprised me with the #1 plaque there at the Dove Awards. So I've been to like 3 events, and this will be my 4th opportunity to be a part of the Dove Award.
And how has the experience been, compared? Because I haven't attended the Dove Awards as of yet. I've gone to a lot of the others, the Stellar, several others. Like, how has your experience been going and, to the Dove Awards, just going to a lot of the activities surrounding that, the award show itself? Like, what's your initial take from that?
It's an epic experience. It's very explosive, meeting different people from different genre of music. CCM world, this is mostly catered together, mingling with us from the contemporary world. All of us coming together to celebrate our Lord and Savior like never before. It's really a picture of what heaven's supposed to look like, what our churches are supposed to look like on Sunday morning. Instead of it being so segregated, we all should be coming together, at such a time as this. And that's what the Dove Awards is pretty much about. It's a big mixture of people from different genre of music.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of good nominations in there as well, too, for a lot of familiar faces as well, too, within the nominations and just within the activities. Again, going into the week for anyone that's just joining, if you're getting into town by Monday the 16th, you definitely want to check out Urban Soul Cafe's event that's going to be happening, the pre-Dove party that's happening Monday the 16th. You want to get your tickets. You want to be in the building. If anyone has been to any of Carlos's events before, you know what to expect. I was at a few of them over at the Stellar Awards weekend in Vegas, in hot Vegas, and those events. That's all I remember about Vegas. The events were great.
What I said earlier. I'm really trying to say what I said.
The events was great, but oh my God, it was so hot. But yeah, Carlos puts on amazing events for sure. So definitely, you guys are there. You wanna pull up on the event, and you want to be there for sure. Yes. Now, before you bring in anyone else, Titus, what else do you have planned for the rest of the year kind of going in, November, December, projecting for 2024?
I'm definitely watching a lot of football right now, The football season
That's
is here.
true. That's true. I mean, Coach Prime, man, but go ahead.
Coach Prime is taking over for real. But definitely, man, I go into the studio. Once I come back from the Dove Awards weekend, I'm coming back to the studio. I'm doing some live stuff for a new album. I'm working on new material. Getting new content prepared for that day. And I'm excited about the content that is being created in the moment as we speak together. My musicians, all of my guys are in the lab, creating new content, creating new vibes, so we can give the people of God something to vibe to. In 2024, that's what we'll be going into. So that's pretty much it. I have just a family, loving on my wife, loving on my family. We do it big around the holidays. With my family.
Yeah, you got a big family too. Yeah,
you
sure do,
man.
I remember
big
that.
Family. We get together on Christmas Eve. We celebrate in my parents' home. We just shower them with love, and we also exchange gifts and then be with our significant others on Christmas Day. We have a 9 o'clock service. Then the holidays of Thanksgiving and all of those things are ahead of us. So it's just a year of excitement for me, man. And we're ready for it.
Well, Titus, thank you so much for stopping in and spending a little bit of time with us, because we will see you at the Dove Awards on October the 16th. So we're absolutely really excited about that. So
can't wait.
Much love to you. Congratulations on everything. And listen, we'll see you at the Doves.
Can't wait.
All right.
You guys have a great night.
Take it easy, brother. You as well.
God bless you. God bless you. Absolutely. Hey, I'm actually, Will, I've just sent you an invite to come in the room, and hopefully you got it, because Titus just bounced out.
And
just bounced out. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I also just put the link to urbansoulcafe.com. If you can pin that, where people can go and they can get their tickets to the event that's coming up on 16th, October 16th.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's already in there. I'm waiting for Will. Will, I did just send you an invite. In the meantime, let's bring our girl Jay in the building, because she has been waiting so patient. Listen.
Oh no, Will, guys, this is not Jay. This is Will.
I know one thing.
There they go. Okay.
We just saw each other in New York.
Exactly. At SOBs, we were just chatting it up there.
Party. It's a whole vibe. My sister's in the building. Will, he's got Bible study tonight. Listen, you guys are in here. Make sure you share this live, because we're going to go in fast. We're going to go in hard with this brand new season of Indigo Inspire Live, the collab show with my host, other brother. Listen, the one and only Sharon Williams from Gospel Music Buzz 3Zs on the IG. And I'm your host, Patrice DeLisser, here on Indigo Inspire Live. And we have with us, listen, y'all better bring in this new season. My girl Jay is in the building, J-A-I, and the one and only Will Johnson. I am Will on IG. Let me tell you, first of all, I know Sherry's going to come to questions, but Will, let me tell you something. You made my soul happy when we were shut down. I promise you, you made my soul happy, because you would come on the lives and you would just put things up and just share and just drop nuggets of, it was entertainment, but you know what? It took us out of being in a place of just feeling sad, because so much was going on, so much loss was happening. But you dug deep and really came on there and shared, and we started a choir online, and you had these reels that you were doing and just matching up your vocals and your harmonies. And so really, I don't know who's told you that, and they may have already told you that, but I just want to give you your flowers while you can smell them, while you can hear them, for being so genuine in a time when so many of us were going through. And I'm so honored, I genuinely am, to have you on Indigo Inspire Live. You are, I'm telling you, you are awesome, and you don't even know how many people you bless. So I'm one more person to say you blessed my life, and I was looking for those lives, and you brought so much joy to so many people in a really dark place. So I wanted to tell you that personally.
You guys trying to make people cry, but it is not happening tonight.
How was close? How close was it? How close was it?
You had to keep going.
I already been in a little prayer. Nah, y'all ain't gonna get me. I really don't understand that people that make people happy go through a lot, and it is a lot of transitions. And I pretty much have submitted myself to the Lord that I'm okay with being persecuted. I'm okay with having to go through the hard stuff because it's for somebody else. And if we don't go through it, then we can't tell the person that's coming behind us that's going to experience that same thing how to get through it. So I like to think of us as not GPS, but we are MapQuest. Somebody's going to have to read these directions to figure out how to get where they're trying to go. And so I'm really appreciative to God that you guys are being blessed by that. It's a really humble thing. The beautiful part is the Lord does not let me see me. So that's why, people think I'm just being humble when I be like, or being like, false, that false humble when people be like, it's all God. Oh, it's all the Lord. No, like really the Lord does not, it's a gift for you not to be able to see you, because then you know who it all goes to. And then you do it just because okay, he sent me to do this. After stuff is over, I'd be like, okay, what's next? I don't even be like, oh yeah, it's great. No, I'd be like, what's next? What we doing next, Lord? So that's really wonderful to hear. I really, really appreciate that. I can't wait for you guys to experience choir rehearsal with friends though at Dove. It's gonna be pretty amazing.
Well, I mean, go ahead, Sherwin, because I know I have a couple questions. Go ahead.
No. I was gonna say before I even jump into a few of the stuff I was gonna ask Will. I was gonna just kind of greet Jay, say what up. I know you. So I think the last time I saw you, you were at Urban Soul Cafe out in Stellar Week, man, doing the hosting bid, crushing it up there. It was a whole lot was happening that day. But basically anyone that's just, and I think that's what's so unique about going into the pre-Dove event, because now you're going to be on stage. Titus is going to be there. Will is going to be there. So just kind of seeing all of you together, hosting individually, you guys do an amazing job. Yeah. So together, I know it's going to be a lot of jokes. It's going to be a whole lot of stuff is going to be happening there. So definitely, again, everyone, we pinned the link. You want to go forward. You want to check. You're going to grab your tickets. You want to do that. And Will, last time I spoke to you when we were at SOBs in New York, you had a crazy story. Like the day after when you hopped in the cab with your phone, just kind of tell give everyone a little bit of that
we're on right now.
Okay.
Talk about it. I don't think a lot of people know that story.
I love my phone in the Uber.
Will, this is somebody's bedtime story, so make it good. Make it good.
I literally lost my phone in the Uber. One of our friends wasn't feeling too well. And so we were like, look, we ain't finna mess this Uber up. So we told the Uber driver to stop the car so that, she could relieve herself. And then we were headed to the hotel, and I keep my phone in my hand. But for some odd reason, by the time we got to the hotel and they dropped everybody off, I was like, where is my phone? Literally the next day, I was looking around like, where is my phone? Because I got back to the room and I just passed out. I went to sleep. And I was like, where is my phone? Couldn't find it. Next thing you know, Home Alone style, I'm walking through Central Park the next day, find my iPhone. I had to go get a new iPhone. They were not about to let me get it. Thank God for a wonderful admin who let me use his license so that I can get a new phone. Got a new phone. And I was like, I don't like this phone. I'm not connected. Me and my other phone has been through the trenches. Please. Let me get it. So I'm trying to find that phone, and I'm talking about Macaulay Culkin looking for the bird lady, running through the park, trying to find the Uber driver. Where in the world is my phone? And finally, I got to the Uber driver. He was standing still. I prayed so hard. I said, Lord, don't let this man drive off when I get there. I knocked on his window. I said, man of God, my blessing is in the front seat of your car, and I need it now. It's my phone, and I need it now. JG Wentworth style, I asked for that phone, and I got it back.
Come on, you better
I mean, that is stories you just don't hear about. Like, I'm at work and I'm watching you jump on, and you were talking about running through New York, and you're here, there, and I'm like, look at God, man, because normally you're not gonna get that phone back. You would have not have gotten that phone back.
Coking, I was finna go jump off the Statue of Liberty and everything else trying to find that phone.
The stature.
When I say the Statue of Liberty, I was finna erect another tower next to the World Trade Center.
Listen.
Oh, my God.
Well, I'm so glad you were able to get it, and I know you are about to go to Bible study because you are committed.
Honey, he's committed.
You are committed to make sure that you are in the building and be able to go ahead and help be a part of facilitating the development of the next disciples. Come on here, somebody.
I'm excited because I get to see Jay next week. So
I'm so excited. I get to see you in Atlanta. And then, like, what people don't understand is, first of all, Carlos brought me and Will together. Like, we hosted a show. Like, I was always a fan of Will's, and I always was, like, supportive and, you know, from a distance. But then when we hosted together, we hosted an event. Where were we? Was it a Dove event?
Nashville. It was at Dove's.
Wow. Yeah, we hosted an event, and then after, like, we instantly connected. We have the same kind of dumb. Like,
oh, my goodness. Okay. So that's going to be some kind of
it's
crazy
like
chemistry.
Peanut butter and jelly. Like, it just, I mean, people actually thought like we scripted some of the stuff, and it was actually our first time meeting.
Oh, wow.
How
we just did it on the fly.
On the fly. And like ever since then, like Will has jumped from being just somebody I know in the industry to like actually a brother. Like, I could FaceTime him at any point. Like, seriously, it don't matter. And he's going to answer no matter what, you know? And so.
Hey, let's do this. This is how deep the connection go. I made Jay mad one time. Do you know there are people who will upset certain people and they won't talk to you no more, they won't fool with you no more, they'll talk about you, they'll post. Nobody knew that she was upset with me. This is the type of integrity that's in her heart. We talked about it like brother and sister. We hashed it out like brother and sister. She cussed me out like a big sister. And then after that, we were good to go.
See, that's how it's supposed to be.
Like, I literally can call him at any point.
Wow.
And he can call me at any point because, like, what he said before about like those of us that pour, you know, and give to people and give our lives and give our humor, give everything to people. We go through a lot, and so it's always good to have somebody that can understand that story, understand that struggle, that battle, and we there for each other. I got Will. I'm 10 toes down for him. Like, ain't nothing he can do at this point to make me ever like not be cool with him. So when we on stage together, because I got to host a choir rehearsal with friends with him in Atlanta too. So like, and then he's coming back to Atlanta. It's just about to be like crazy, like what we do. And that's the thing about Carlos's events. For those that are artists, for those that are comedians, for those that are in this industry period and love Jesus. You know, it's not easy. Like, we can always go to like the BET Awards. We can always go to the MTV, VMA stuff. That's great. That's dope. But here's the thing. When you're able to come where it's other believers, of people that are creative, but also have the same heart as you, you're able to build community. It becomes a church outside of church. And so I've made some of my best, like you guys, like, just, I've known you how long now? Like,
I mean, come on, let's not tell him.
I mean, I'm just.
No, I mean, listen. Let's not tell him, but no, because Jay's been with Jay. I got connected with Jay in the very beginning when I've even started all of this, and she's still 17.
I'm still 17. How did that happen?
I mean, really,
fountain of youth.
Listen, the fountain of youth. Wait, Carlos said you cuss him out all the time. So first of all, we rebuke that spirit.
You know, I really don't say. Is he saying me?
There's a thing called deserving grace.
He said you, Jay.
Me?
No.
She cussed me out all the time.
He said you cuss him out all the time. There's a thing called deserving grace. Sometimes people deserve.
I don't remember, so maybe it was I was sleep talking. Maybe that was my soul crying out. I don't know. However, I do know Carlos be deserving some words.
See?
You know, Big Mama D said, "I deserve." Come on. See, say that in your spirit tonight, Carlos. I deserve. Come on, open your mouth, Carlos. I deserve. Come on, open your mouth, Carlos. Open your spirit. You ain't saying it, Carlos. I don't hear you in the spirit.
Type it in the text. I deserve it. But I also send him a barbecue plate too if he's hungry. So I don't care. Like,
see, so there we go.
But that's my brother too. That's the community and the family that we have. I deserve by Tank. See, this is why Carlos don't like. That's the wrong. That is the wrong. I deserve. That is, but no. It's a family affair, and it's something that, like, seriously, if you're an artist, or if you're an aspiring artist or comedian, or if you're a radio announcer, if you have any kind of podcast, coming to these events is more than just hearing talent. It's about building community.
Correct.
Because I've been doing this for so long. I literally have been in this industry now since 2009. I was gonna say maybe. I was thinking 2010, but that's about right. 2000, that's about right. 2009. I was nominated for a Dove years. Like, I got Album of the Year nomination for Dove Award for Hip Hop Album of the Year. Not even a rapper. But the gag is. Wait, I was about to say something else, but woo! See, I will not talk about it, because I know. I mean, I've been in it for so long that I'm grateful that we have forums like this where we can start integrating more, because the Doves have become way more integrated than they once were. Where the Stellar Awards used to feel more like the BET Awards, you know, and then the Dove Awards kind of felt more like the Grammys, you know, but the gospel was very, very tiny, you know, like, and so that's why even they didn't know how to categorize me. Like, they didn't know how to categorize me, because I was more of like, I did a lot of stuff with Lecrae. I did a lot of stuff with, you know, Cross Movement and The Truth, but I wasn't hip hop. So they didn't even know how to categorize me when I came out with my record. So they put me as Hip Hop Album of the Year. I'm like, okay, you know, so it's come a long way. And I think platforms like this, like what Carlos is doing, that definitely helps bring more diversity to it. It brings the gospel, the Black community, the Black and brown community to the Dove Awards, so that we can have other outlets as well. So it makes it very exciting. And to be able to do it with my brother, Will, if y'all have not experienced choir rehearsal with friends, you need to be there. Seriously. Like, I've experienced it. And the way this dummy, like, the way he is the choir director of all choir directors, and it literally makes you feel like you're at this big rehearsal while you're eating and having a good time. It's so much fun. Every time I used to be embarrassed going to a restaurant, like an IHOP or something like that, and all my little churchy friends start singing, I would be so embarrassed. This actually gives us permission to do that, where the whole place turns into a choir. So it's super fun.
Listen,
I got a little taste of it. Oh, go ahead, Patrice.
Tea and everything else. I want to take an opportunity, because we don't really get a chance to do this, but I want to leave it open before Will goes or Jay goes, because Jay could be a little bit longer. If you have a question to ask Will or Jay right now, could you please put in the comments for us, so we can go ahead and they can see your question and maybe take a quick answer. Will, I want to do a time check with you, just to be respectful of your time. How many more minutes you got?
You good?
Will?
You said you're good.
Okay. Let
me go get my other phone, because my woman of God is working right now, and I need to make sure I check in with her. Man, so I don't be a single man when this is over with, man.
Okay. So Jay, obviously, you know, just what you touched upon, you know, you are no stranger to the Doves and the organism that is the Doves. And as you've seen the sort of the slow turn of incorporating us into the equation, where do you feel that there's still so much more to do? Because I know you've probably had this conversation, you know, with other people, or even just as you assess things, when you're looking at nominations and things like that. Have they gotten better with really putting, as you said before with you, they didn't know what category. Have they gotten better with really recognizing who fits what genre a little better than they did?
I do think that they've gotten better, but I think gospel music as a whole needs to work on it. It's not just the GMA Dove thing. It's also a Stellar Award thing. It's also a radio thing.
Preach it.
You know, it's something that us as believers have to stop putting music in a box. I've never been in a box. That's one reason why people always ask, like if you look at who follows me and all the people I've worked with everybody in the industry, but still I'm not as popular as a lot of people. Why? Because my sound was never cookie cutter in the box, you know? And so when you don't have, if you're not in the box, gospel music alone doesn't know what to do with you. So I think we need to go back to the whole concept of it's more about the messaging. What is the message saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like the gospel is the good news. It's the content. It's the content in the music. It's not if it's country, if it's rap, if it's pop, if it's EDM, if it's reggae, if it's Afrobeat. It doesn't matter what the sound is. We should be able to make the art that's inside of us, just as long as the content is still the good news and pointing people upward. So I think that if we got to figure that out, even though at the Stellars, we still got to figure that out in radio. It's hard for people like myself or like a Jordan who's finally broken through. Jordan started after me, and he's like killing it on like radio now. We're making more space for him and people like us on the radio now. So it needs to be R&B, like stuff that sounds like rhythm and blues. That is a genre. That doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to talk about baby, girl, this and that. It's the genre of music. As long as it's clean and pointing to God and healthy relationships, I think that gospel music needs to make more space for it. So we're all getting better, but we still got work to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And could it also be a situation where you have the powers that be that are still, you know, within their era of listening, that are not so.
What did you say, Will?
I said I just wanted the choir back.
So then I think, and I don't think we should. I think as we evolve, we shouldn't get rid of.
Absolutely not.
But they got rid of the choir. They put praise teams up, and that's why they got spiritual cheerleaders. And I'm sick of the praise team. Give me the choir. So we want the robes.
I think that's a lot. Whoa. I think we could do both and. I think there's space for everything. I think there's space for
when they start doing both and? They start doing both and when they put frontline vocals in front of the choir.
You know what it really was, though? It's really a diversity initiative. We're trying to figure out the ways, how do we incorporate all of the sounds into one to make it sound and look more like heaven, like what Titus was saying. Like, you know, and I think no, it doesn't have to be a choir. Like, because if a church has a choir, I'm probably not gonna go to it. Now I'll go to your event because I enjoy the nostalgia of a choir, but I don't want to go to an old school church where it's choir robes and stuff. That's triggering to me, you know.
Well, remember but you just said yourself, it is not just one or the other. It's, you know, this and.
It needs to be able to be both and.
But
exactly.
But to Will's point, you do see that, you know, that pushing away for just the praise and worship. And once again, I think that's speaking to the mechanism not really having a real pulse on across the board. What are the listeners asking for?
The listeners want all of it.
That's exactly it. My point is exactly.
Like, and I'm not saying everybody wants all of it. Like, I don't want everything. I don't want everything Will wants, and Will don't.
Yeah.
There are people out here that really only want the praise team and do not want the choir. There are people out here that want the choir and the praise team. There are people out here that's like, okay, we enjoy the praise team, please bring the choir back. And then you have choirs that have frontline vocals. So that's where the separation is, because you don't really, if you got frontline vocals, you don't, and I get like for certain spaces, that's why you need frontline vocals, because you can't really hear everything from the choir standpoint. But then there are also microphones and settings and things of that nature. People have to actually want to do their job to make sure that we can hear the choir. Because the choir literally was not, it wasn't this glorified group of singers that was better than the other people. That's why we have praise teams. If you notice, most praise teams now, praise teams are just picked out certain members of the choir that now sing. And it's like a separate group of people. It is a separation in between the two ministries where it's no longer ministry, because ministry is supposed to mix, but it doesn't mix anymore. You have elitism where it's like, all right, this is this group of people and we give these people the mic. And then I was watching a video not too long ago, and it was right here in Memphis. And the choir was singing, and I mean, the choir was hot. Y'all probably saw it. It was a little boy in the pulpit, and he was like he was acting like an old man. But if you look on the end, they passed somehow the lady on the end was singing soprano or something, and she got a microphone, And then you started hearing her more than you started hearing the choir. And it's like, why did we create this culture where we need frontline vocals? Because we don't. When it's a choir, the people come to hear the choir. That's the beauty.
Yeah.
We didn't come to hear like Lakeisha, LaShonda, Dondre, Rondra, and we didn't come to just hear them. We want to hear the sanctity of the choir. Back in the day, you had Mississippi Mass Choir, Miami Mass Choir, LA Mass Choir, Georgia Mass Choir, Chicago Mass Choir. Like it was always a state mass choir, and then you had community choirs in between that. Milton Brunson and the Thomas, Orlando Draper, Benny Cummings.
Yeah, and Bishop Paz. Yeah, Bishop Paz. Yeah.
Like,
but that's what I'm
so
saying.
Many different things.
That's what I was saying. I'm saying that we as a collective culture want a little bit of all of it. Like, and that doesn't mean that a certain percentage of people want this much more. There's certain people that want more hip hop than they want a piece of choir. I think everybody, you can even tell in mainstream music, people want the choir back. That's where the Sunday service choir came with Kanye.
Yeah, with Kanye.
That's where the song, the song Joy with Pharrell Williams. People want that nostalgic feel of the choir. So this is what I'm saying. I don't think that just because new things are being integrated in, that the old has to be pushed out. I think that there needs to be space. I think all of these platforms, we need to be able to have choir, country, rap, R&B, all of it. Because if it's edifying God, it should all be able to be on the platforms. That's what I'm saying. I don't think, because like I think the year before last, people were complaining even with the Stellar Awards that it was way too urban. Because it was.
Yeah.
Some of the gospel music now is too urban. I don't know what I'm listening to. And as my grandma used to call it, it's boom to boom. What I don't know what half this boom to boom is.
I don't think that's a possible thing. It's
too
Patrice,
urban,
I'm not saying anything. Go ahead.
It is. It really is. You can't understand what's going on.
I can't. A lot of times I can't understand. What are y'all saying?
If you don't have that
are we shaking and gyrating? But I'd rather hear that than to hear shaking and gyrating. And it's like, what is half of this stuff that's going on? It doesn't. I'm not saying it doesn't edify the Lord. I'm just saying some of it is a tad bit right across that little line that ain't gospel no more.
I think it's sonically.
But it's trying to reach though. But I think it's the reach, because like there's some, like, let's just say, and that's the one thing, when you go to the Stellar Awards, right? That weekend when you have Choir Fest, you have different things, you have something that everyone can kind of pull from and gravitate to. But even speaking to, like Vincent Bohannon and speaking to others that run choirs, a lot of times they're saying that it's hard. That's why he was like, hey, that's why he started choirs in different locations, right? Why he have one in Atlanta and he have one in those places, because if he wants to go somewhere and take a choir, a lot of time it comes down to be a funding issue. He's now paying a lot out of his pocket because no one is trying to pay to bring, 20 plus individuals, right? So now it's like you can't really get the full choir where you need to be. You have to stay very local. You have to do certain things. So I think a lot of it too, in terms of just getting that choir and expanding on that, is also having individuals supporting that ministry, because, they're going to stay local. They're never going to be able to go anywhere because it comes down to a funding issue. But, to Jay's point as well too, is that there's just certain subset. Like I put on choir music, my kids are going to look at me like, what are you doing, right? They're not going to pull into that because they weren't, they're competing with, like you said, they're competing with a lot of this mumble rappers. They're competing with all this stuff out there. So I need someone, like a Lecrae. I need someone, like Andy, whoever it is, to come in to lay something, and then like, oh, I can send that to them, try to get that to flow with it, what they're doing. But, again, my mom is not going to listen to that, right? She may listen to something else. So definitely there's places there for all of it to be. But yes, to your point, we have seen a massive reduction of the choir just across. It's almost like, let's just put them in the back and forget about them, and let's focus on this new praise team movement too. So that's definitely a good point to call out.
I do not like that. Just understand, I am a Kojic girl. I am a Pentecostal Church of God in Christ Kojic girl through and through. Okay,
born in the pew.
Born. I literally was born during the convocation. My birthday is November 5th. Like I would spend my birthdays in Memphis going to see Bishop G. Patterson. So I am churchy through and through. However, I do understand that he that winneth souls is wise. And like, even sometimes, like my homeboy Ryan O'Fay has a new song that's more with Limo Blaze called Daily.
Yeah.
And I live in Atlanta. And like I live in a high rise with a lot of people from Africa. I was playing, they were like, hey, they couldn't tell if it was Burner Boy or what. Like I was jamming like daily, daily, I still need you daily. And they was like, hey, hey. So I believe that this is the problem that I have with gospel music, is that it doesn't evolve. It doesn't know how to keep the roots and continue to progress. Because there are those like the Wills that are like my parents that love the old school, like, and I still love a good buck. Don't get me wrong. I still, when I'm at, y'all gonna see at choir rehearsal with friends, I'm about to cut up. Like y'all don't understand. I cut up at his events. Like I understand. Like, but I believe that if we want to reach, like I wouldn't go. I'm in Mexico right now. So if I'm in Mexico and I don't know a lick of Spanish, how can I minister to these people? Like one of my main things was learning John 3:16 in Spanish, period, before I ever came to like a Spanish speaking place. Because if you don't know the language of the people you call to, then how can you reach them? So I believe hip hop is the language. I believe R&B is the language. I believe, techno beats is the language. I just don't believe that gospel music has to stay in a genre for it to be considered gospel music, because the word gospel means good news. It's what we're saying, not how we're saying it. That's my personal opinion.
So here's my question. So Will, in the context of American culture and choir music itself, it is not the same. I'm going to just piggyback on what Jay said about her African African residents in her building. The music that we, even as a choir, is not the same as a choir that's in Africa, because the choir in Africa would almost make the choir in the U.S. be put to shame, because they're more expressive. There's more involvement. They're more engaged into the whole thing. So my question is are you open? Are you just traditional in the sense which is really funny, because you are you really
I really was joking
choir?
when I said that earlier. I was actually joking, but I didn't know that she was really in like a mode talking about the genre, because my mind is here in glory. So like I didn't know that she was really being serious about the genre. I was really joking, but no, I now those are my real sentiments about gospel music. Just to let y'all know, I was really kidding. But okay, the rest of your question, my bad.
No.
So the people so they don't think I'm just, oh, you one of the Pharisees. Don't even like the. I have brothers that do boat to boat. And I
is crazy.
I got brothers that do boat to boat, and Dante Pride is probably one of my favorite gospel rappers in the world. Dante is really amazing. So I love him. Dante
music boat to boat.
I'll call it boat to boat, but I love his boat to boat.
My word.
To the point. You're
180 years old.
Absolutely. And I'll be 181 very soon. But my thing is, I really enjoy what choir music does to people. Here's the thing. There's a group of people in Japan that actually pay, almost like tuition. They pay to learn gospel music. This is not a dig. This is not a dig at all. But they're not going to pay to learn an R&B version of gospel music. They're not going to pay to learn a gospel rap song. Now, there is gospel rap people over there. But what they pay for in those classes are gospel choir music.
Classes. There are K-pop classes that they want to know how to write Christian K-pop.
But what I'm telling you is there's a 3,000 voice choir in Japan that's singing choir music. And what people don't know is choir music is actually very entertaining. And choirs are entertaining. Choirs have been entertaining for a long time. I would have to slight disagree that Africa is more expressive, because we are expressive as well. We're dramatic with our expression though. They're dramatic as well, but they're not over the top dramatic. We are, to Jay's point, we are lip tremble,
we'll agree
hands this way. you know, we this, we that. We need, you know, we're everywhere with it. Vincent Bohannon is a great that's a great example, because when you got Bree Holly with Vincent Bohannon,
I was just gonna say that. I was just gonna say that. Yes.
Quartet, Bree Holly is gonna give you everything you need.
Yep.
So like what people don't understand is, honestly, maybe yours, and I agree with Jay. Everywhere has its own place. There are people that don't believe that comedy is a ministry. I had a bishop literally stand up in the pulpit. He wasn't talking to me, but I had a bishop stand up in the pulpit and say that comedy wasn't a ministry. And that's crazy when the Bible talks about laughter being medicine, and that there's no such thing as a Christian comedians. But there is a placement for it. Now, he's never signed a check for me, and he may never will. But at the end of the day, like, there is a room for everybody. I agree with that. I don't think that there's one greater than the other. On the other hand, I do love and enjoy choir music more than I do the other genres, just because that's just the way I was raised. And I think that the way other people are, like how you raised, my mom was a choir director. My granddaddy was a choir director. My aunt was a choir director. My uncle, he sung in quartet, and he directed the choir. My aunt, all my cousins, we got a family choir. Every time somebody in our family died, who they call to direct the choir. So it's like, it's not a thing for me to be like, oh yeah, I like gospel rap. I do, but what do I prefer? I prefer choir music, because choir music, it has a better sound. It's something more unifying about choir music. It does. But it has a better sound to you. And not just me.
Also, a lot of people Dillard,
I mean,
so that's what I'm saying.
But I'm telling you, but there are also millions of people. I would like for people to be more inclusive with their terminology, you know, and more understanding that there are millions of people. Because if you look at gospel music, hip hop has sold so many records compared to a lot of gospel artists. So if it was that popping, it wouldn't be that much differentiation. So I'm saying, like, there are millions of people that also enjoy hip hop, R&B, that speak about God. So I'm saying, that's what this is the issue that I have with gospel music. Like, I don't understand why Fred Hammond isn't still represented at Stellar Awards. Like, I don't understand, like, why we don't have more choir representation, like Ricky Dillard, James Hall, those types of people at the Stellar Awards still, while still having a Jordan Armstrong on stage, while still having a Kirk Franklin on stage, with still having a Dante Pride, a me on stage, with having an Erica Campbell, you know, which is why I believe it becomes so hard for the older saints, like, because I don't see why, with what Will is doing, why isn't like a Ricky Dillard bringing him up under him and signing on to be like, this is the new sound of choir. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I'm just saying, I'm using it as
but it goes back to the mechanism.
I don't want them to get no ideas.
I'm just saying, whoever the new choir people are, you know, like what Judah, what's his name? It's new choir as people that I believe, if we had the older generation bringing on to say, this is the new sound, let's do it together. Versus being like, now this old sound is gone. There's no more representation unless you do a flashback. I just think that's ridiculous. I think that there's space for everybody. I think that we need to figure out a way in our programming of these award shows to show more unity and to show more of the old and the new, and not make it, oh, this whole show is dedicated to the old, this whole show is dedicated to the new. Then you keep that war when it's like, no, let's be more strategic, because we want grandma and the baby. We got to be wise with this.
Okay.
Someone just said the church.
Okay,
you can get the. Go ahead.
New _change_ here says the church has always resisted the new.
Yep. Someone said I hate the new song of the Black Church. Wow. Okay, I hate the new song of the Black Church. I don't know. That's a little Black choir. Yeah, that's a.
Because it's not necessarily what it is a lot of that. And I was listening to somebody's record the other day. What people think that they hear, you don't hear the old sound of the actual drums. You don't hear the organ. You don't hear the keys. You don't hear the mess ups. It's convocation right now. And I'm mad that I missed the doggone choir, because I didn't know that my district choir was on tonight. But like our convocation is going on, and it's not convocation unless the choir mess up. It's not convocation unless the musicians skip something and they mess up. Like, so choir music isn't choir music on an album unless somebody mess up. And like, so now the albums are so much more cleaner, and it's all key drums more than it is real drums, which is, it is harder to actually mix in the studio.
Yeah.
Certain live instruments, it's very much harder. So that's why the new choir sound is really, really weird. But they're also trying to match the energy of this praise team. Because the praise team has taken over. That's a real thing.
But it could also be technology, like what you said. Like, you want the mixing. If we really want to make sure that the message is heard worldwide and not just within the confines of the church, we as the church have to also integrate new technology. So yeah, we can't have the boom chak, like, because it's hard to mic that if it's not done right. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes we have to keep up with the technology and the time.
It's that, and then the reason why the song types change again is because the praise team. Everybody's trying to match a Maverick City. Everybody's trying to match a former All Nations Music. Everybody's trying to match each other's sound. Oh, it's almost like church culture. Everybody in church got an LED wall. Even the small churches, they got LED walls, but the carpet still smell like pee.
Oh my!
You got to struggle,
so
not
right now.
I
just need to give a station identification. You are now locked into Indigo Inspire Live, the collab show here on Instagram. I'm your host, Patrice Delisser, here with Indigo Inspire Live, and my co-host is the one and only Sharon Williams from Gospel Music Buzz, 3 Z's on the IG, and we are here live with the one and only I am Will Johnson and Jay, who is the queen, the princess of the hip hop culture. Come on here, somebody.
And a quick disclaimer: the views and opinions of our guest may not always be allowed. Okay, I get it. No, but that's real talk, though, Will. That's 100%. I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you at that. I'm not gonna hold you at that.
James,
you gotta, they don't pick the struggle, and they're trying to match a sound. Like what James said, they do pick but those are called overdubs. So what most people hear, overdubs, they hear the actual picked out 2 and 2, the praise team.
It's cleaned up in post.
But it makes it cleaner, and that's fine.
Praise team.
But we prefer.
The praise team come in and record and post.
So okay.
See, that's what's the one. So,
Patrice, we have a couple things we have to point out too. We have a couple things. Number one, the beginning of pulling key voices out of a choir. Though it was a great idea, and I get it, but look what that did within the church. That was not an industry thing. That started in the church. And when you start pulling out key voices that you feel are stronger, then you automatically are creating a sense of separation. Like, so everybody else can't sing, because that's not the case. They just picked out certain voices, and that trend just picked up so much steam until you don't even want to hear the choir, because you've now been trained and programmed just to hear those 4 voices, soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. That's it. If you got a bass anymore. Because you used to have a bass. I see you. But that still doesn't change the fact that I started in the church. And if you're saying it was one, but the other culture picked up on the same thing as well. And we have to put responsibility for that and say that is exactly where it started.
See, that's what someone just commented too.
Here's my thing. It's a lot of shifted responsibility when it comes to church culture, which is why you have the come on and praise the Lord, come on and clap your hands, come on and this. I'm telling you, the new wave cannot lie. Now, I know old church is a little responsible for all that condemnation when Stomp came out and all the youth choir wanted to sing it, and they were singing.
No, he didn't pull out Kirk Franklin. You know what? But where's the lie? Where's the lie?
But the truth of the matter is, there's a lot of shifted responsibility, because old church was testimony service. And a lot of people be like, oh, when the folks started lying, that's when testimony. That wasn't the church I grew up in. Mount Zion Holy Church. Oh, them niggas didn't lie. It wasn't nothing to lie. They didn't talk about none of that other stuff. When Mount Zion Holy Church started to testify, it was always about Jesus and being glad to be saved. And when people shifted the responsibility of the worship team, the praise team, having to lift the people up, now the audience comes to a concert versus coming to worship, which is why we have to sing harder on stage to get the people involved, when before it used to be the people's responsibility to set the temperature in the room. And so now there's shifted responsibility, which is why we have praise teams. But now you got people on praise teams like, oh, y'all don't want to do it. Y'all don't want to do it. Well, it's because they came to see you. And they feel like they got to feel you first before they get into it. When the responsibility of you is biblical as well. Okay. Enter his gates. Enter his courts.
Listen, right now, James Wright, our brother from Sincere, is in the building. He makes this comment. He says, as a singer myself of the new generation, focus on runs these days. I'm used to just people just flat out singing without all those, with those runs.
But James also made an earlier.
James be doing runs too.
James he does do runs. But my thing is this, I think it goes a lot to what it's a testament to what Will was saying. It's become more of a, we perform for the people because the people come to be entertained versus a collective worship experience, which I do believe that's what the choir once did. And like where it goes back to our African roots of call and response, like it just brought us together. It's more, but now I do think that something needs to be said about with these different genres of music. I believe that these different genres of music have different places. I don't believe all of the genres of music, all of the genres of gospel music need to be in the church. Let me be clear. Like I believe, like there are certain times when I'm going out with my girls, I don't want to have to listen to bongos. I don't want to have to listen to, something like that to get hyped to go out with to have a ladies' night. I want to be able to turn on a girl named Miss Day, who's a Christian hip hop artist. I want to be able to turn on a Jay, who's an R&B Christian artist. I want to be able to feel like cute. That I'm not about to worship and pray to that necessarily, but there are different things that if I'm feeling like I want to, it's like we need more love songs for couples that are gospel, like not TD Jakes, no more sheets, like nobody satin sheets slide. I don't want to hear that.
Carlos, don't you dare.
But
you need some good music.
I won't tank.
Don't you dare. Carlos,
I won't tank.
You dare.
I'm just saying, like, I think.
Ain't nobody popping on the choir when you're in the room.
We just need more. We need more music that's not explicit for our Christians to have different experiences. That don't all belong in the church, but I do believe what's happened in the church, it's become more of a show. So now singers are more concerned with getting the oohs and ahs of their counterparts or their peers. So that's where the show, like, no, just Lord, I lift your name on high. Just sing the song. Not Lord,
singing for singers,
follow you. So I just think that we need to just go back to what the purpose of collective community church is.
But John P. Key is notorious for that.
But he put it in there but he threw it in there. Yeah. His was like beautiful cursive that was just thrown in. While you had the choir, that's the beauty of the choir. The choir sang straight. The choir would show up. Like they just gonna sing straight. You could color it, but the foundation was set. Like a lot of times, the people that are singing the melodies are running all over the place. And that's why when I lead, because I've been the worship pastor for Joyce Meyer, I've been the worship pastor for a lot of huge mega churches. And I tell my team all the time, I'm like, are you a worship leader or a worship leaver? Like, are you leaving people experience or are you leading people into the presence of God? Wow. That's where the difference comes from. And so I do think that there's something to be said about the integration of a praise and worship team and a choir and all those things when it comes to like diversifying the church. Seriously, I believe it's a beautiful marriage if it's done right, but I think it all needs to be done correctly. To your point, Will, I think the choir needs to be welcomed back. I think we need to have more choirs represented, but I'm not mad about the integration of like a Maverick, but I don't think everybody should be the robots and do copying and pasting everything.
Absolutely. See what James said just now too. James said these praise team don't even attend the churches, and some of them does not even know God they hired because they can sing these days. Yeah.
That's the truth. Most people are, and that's why most singers now that lead at churches, they are hired on, but they don't have pastors. They don't have shepherds.
Oh, that's another conversation.
And
yeah, that's what he's saying. Yeah,
they don't have shepherds, and a lot of these people, if you don't have anybody shepherding your soul, you have no accountability. So that's why they easily hop from church to church, singing from place to place. And you like, oh, I thought you was over at Beatty's Temple, child. No, I ain't over there no more. I'm at New Life. And you like, okay, well, what's going on at New Life? But New Life don't even know what you did at Beatty's Temple. It's just like they have nobody submitted. No, and this generation thinks that submission is being in a cult. Now, there are some leaders nowadays that I don't necessarily agree with, but those leaders also haven't been sanctioned by other leaders who actually have the Holy Ghost. So like there are kids nowadays in this generation that can sing really well, but they're not submitted to nobody. And if your gift is unsubmitted, it's going to be everywhere. That's why I think for Brandon.
Yeah.
Hey, Will,
you blessed. You blessed, Will. You love your pastor. A lot of these pastors be pimping these singers. When you get treated like a stage monkey, you just sing and get your money and go on, just like Nene Leakes be saying. Bye.
Of course, you gotta find your person.
That's what. This is where this whole conversation came from. For those that don't understand, it's like I was asked, like, if the GMA Doves have done a great job at integrating like all of the diversity, because there was a time when gospel music wasn't really presented or represented properly. Yeah. I said that it's a lot more work has to be done, but not just from the GMA standpoint. This goes all the way back to the church. Pastors, how are we stewarding the people that are serving? Why doesn't anybody want to serve anymore? Why does everyone want to be contract? Why? Because we've been treated like we've been on staff for years and not appreciated, not valued, talked to crazy, asked to do all kinds of things, not shepherded, not stewarded, no calls to say how you doing. So a lot of people in my generation, I'm in my 40s and younger, are like, Now, if I'm not getting paid, because you're going to keep a boundary with me. If I'm not getting paid, I don't, because you're not pouring into me. I'm not just going to pimp my talent out, my skill out for you to treat me wrong. So I think that it goes back to even that. What are churches doing? What are we doing as a church to integrate properly and to take care of our people that are in the creative arts? And then we could talk about the Stellars. Then we could talk about what GMA Doves are doing, you know? And I think it's a deeper conversation.
Absolutely. Because at this point, we're almost a teetering, if we're not already there. The application for praise and worship applicants that come with tech writers. So here's my tech writer in order to perform. And if you don't meet all my needs, then I'm bouncing. So I'm going from Mount Olivet to Holy Hill or whatever the church you're going to. And to Will's point, and really merging your points together. Number one, the music is supposed to be the Levites. We're talking about the sanctuary. We're not talking about a stage. We're not talking about a club. We're talking about the sanctuary. And the Levites are the ones that help set the tone of the atmosphere of worship. When we start separating and spotlighting other people and not making everyone feel included in worship, then we have a problem, and that comes back to the church. It still goes back to the church. The members are responsible. The music directors who started this, I was going to say it's foolishness. I had to catch it. And it has spilled over into how outside world sees our music. They don't see it as worship. They see it just as what it is. It's a performance. You're getting awards for performance. And who is shepherding, as go back to Will's point, who is shepherding the ones that are that are supposed to be bringing and ushering us into the presence of the Lord. Because if you're not shepherding, go ahead.
Some of these, and I can't just hold the whole church accountable. Now, some people had horror stories.
That's a general statement.
Yeah. I can't hold everybody accountable, but what I can say is some horror stories people have had. I'm blessed to not have too much of a horror story, but I have had some church horror stories. It didn't push me out. But what I have realized in my adult life is that I also wasn't submitted, and not just submitted to a church. I wasn't submitted to God. Some of these worship singers and all of that, they don't have prayer lives, and that's not for somebody else to show you how to get per se. If you are going to sing about a God that you say is so good, how do you sing about somebody that you don't know? And that getting to know him today, I prayed. And I didn't have a team of intercessors, and I didn't have people laying hands on me. I got it for myself in my own floor. And I submitted my own self to him. But that had to be a matter of the heart. And some of their hearts are so, the Bible says the heart is deceitfully wicked, it's desperately wicked. So it desires to do all the things that it wants to do. And so like, it's the heart matter with some of these singers. They don't necessarily have a relationship with God. That's why they call themselves spiritual, but not necessarily churchy, which there's nothing wrong with being churchy, because then you fit in so many different places. But some of these singers don't have relationships. And when you don't have a relationship with God, you can't pray to him to ask him to put you in an arena that you're not prepared for.
Absolutely.
He's not going to put you somewhere that he knows you're not prepared for. That's why having a relationship with him is super important. So you know not to go to Beatty's temple and get used. That's a real thing. So that if you have a relationship with your father knows how to say, hey, you ain't going over there, because you're not prepared for that. Your heart, they can't handle it. They're going to mistreat you. But a lot of us, we don't work on our interpersonal relationship with the Lord. So we don't have that direction of the Holy Spirit to say, hey, listen, this ain't something that you need to do. This ain't somewhat, because the real talk is, some people are so afraid that the Lord is going to tell them no, so they don't consult him. And when they don't consult him, they get their heart broken.
Come on.
And as a father, what a father does is a father will allow you to experience hurt. If he realizes that you're trying to fix it on your own, he'll let you go so far to fix it on your own, because he realizes eventually you're going to have to come to him. But then so many people continuously to not fix their relationship with their father that they sing about. In the end, there's going to be a day where we're going to stand before him. And if he says to us, depart from me, I know you not, it has everything to do with, oh, I've been doing this in your name. I've been doing that in your name. That's fine. But how can you say you've been singing about me and I never knew you? I never had that conversation with you. You never gave me your flaw. You never actually tried to come to me. What you did was you thought that I was going to hold, and I can't blame them completely, because there's an enemy. There's an enemy. He's the prince of the air. And he also likes to condemn us and make us think that we can't get to the Father, because he can't get to the Father. He's completely kicked out. Hell is his home, and he won't rule over it. That's his prison. He's going straight there. But for us, the believers, we've got to understand, we've got to want a relationship with our Father so that we can have our godly opportunities and we can avoid heartbreak. You can avoid a lot of heartbreak if you consult with the Father first.
Listen.
I gotta go to Bible study.
I mean, let me say one thing, because he just said a whole lot.
Yeah.
I gotta go to Bible study. I love y'all.
He said,
all right, well, take it easy.
He said some good stuff, but I agree for most of it. But I've also worked in some very massive ministries that I've seen a lot of church hurt. I've seen a lot of it. And unless you've been through it, and I don't know, like he said, he hasn't experienced a lot of it, but I've seen a lot of it. And I've seen it at the cost of, and not because people didn't seek God for going to that ministry per se, you know.
I think there's an understanding of wanting to make, okay, so we're going to rephrase this. When we understand the role that music plays in worship, there's a differentiation between the music that we're going into the sanctuary with and the music that still is uplifting our spirits, even when I'm bumping in the car. Me, I'm bumping the 808s. That's just me. I mean, I'm down for the Cray. I'm down for T-Wise. I'm back to T-Wise again. He's gonna be drop something, I think sometime this year or next year. I'm down with Swoop. I'm down with Jay. I mean, I'm down. But that doesn't mean because I listen to that music that it's put me far away from the Lord. No, I I want to have an atmosphere and inhabit an atmosphere that always puts me in a place of worship. I'm in the car and I got my top down, my sunroof open, and I got that joint blasted, and I want somebody to hear, the old Lecrae. I want somebody to hear Kenton Jones. I want somebody to hear, because that's my time of worship. But when I'm walking into the doors, I know there's another type of worship that's still going to be and put me in a place where I'm recognizing whose house I'm in.
Right.
And so back to your point in the beginning, there's so many genres within gospel music, but let the main thing be the main thing. It's the gospel of Jesus Christ. It really is the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And God has music to reach every single soul. And we put God in a box that if it's not a Gregorian chant, then nobody can get him. No, there are people that are listening to the 808s and they are just blown away by the fact, wait a minute, there's no profanity. And wait a hold, the lyrics of what? They're talking about, who's this Jesus they're talking about? And he opens the door for conversation.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And that's the thing. And we also have to keep in mind, like, there's a difference between singing music in the church versus singing music as your career.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we always want to make everything so ministry. Yes, that's great. But just because you're a Christian and you work for, AT&T, or because you work for Sprint, that doesn't mean, yes, everything I do is to edify God and what I do, but that's my job. Mm-hmm. Maybe you're a Fortune 500 company owner, and it's like, yes, but that doesn't mean that you don't hear that in meetings. What we're doing here is to glorify God. No, it just so happens to work in where you work. So we have to also differentiate what we're doing as a form of worship and what we're doing as a form of art. Yeah. Like, this is my career. Good. This is Lecrae's career. Like, and we just so happen to sing and write about who we love and what we experience. Mm-hmm. Like, and that doesn't put us in a box. That doesn't mean that I don't like jazz, hip hop, rap. Like, it doesn't, or gospel sound, like choir. It doesn't mean I don't like all of those influences. This is my career. Mm-hmm. So there's, like, everybody says, like, you do it to edify God. Yeah, I edify God in everything that I do. I edify God when I walk around the mall. But, like, it just so happens that what I do, and just because somebody can sing don't make them no minister. Just because you can sing gospel don't make you a minister of the gospel. And that's not fair to not say that you can't sing gospel because you ain't no preacher and you struggling with stuff. No, that don't make you a minister. Like, we watch somebody like Leandria Johnson publicly go through what she went through from Sunday Best all the way to Ayanla Vincent. Like, we watched her go. That's fine. Like, that's her life. And she just so happened to use her gift, voice, to sing about God. That's beautiful. True. But I think there's something to be said for us to differentiate. Like, the stellars and the doves, yes, it just so happens that we're singing about God and the power of God can come into our events, which is awesome. But I'm like, it's an award show to honor people's career and talent. Yeah. So, I mean, that's my opinion. I think we put so much pressure on people that sing gospel music, make them preachers. It's like, no, it doesn't make you a preacher. Now they're taking that model and putting it in the church. That's where we mess up. When we take the model of what the BT Awards and the Stellar Awards and and GMA into the church, that's when the confusion happens. That's when you start treating people like they're paid talent. That's if I'm getting told to sing on the Stellars, I'm gonna be there at my call time. I'm gonna sound check. I'm gonna check my ears. I'm gonna do my thing and I'm gonna leave. Then when it comes to church, it should be a different thing. But a lot of these pastors have turned into producers of a program. So,
okay, say it.
So that's to me, that's the problem, and that's where people get hurt, because the heart of the church is not that. The heart of the church is Cirque du Soleil. I worked for them. Trust me. So I'm saying, like, with the red saying we want cannons and this and this and that, like, okay, well then I'm gonna give you that. You want Cirque du Soleil, I got you. So it's like, but then you become talent. That's where the problem comes in. So I mean, and I ain't shading it, because, like I said, I worked for those organizations, and they're doing a lot of good for a lot of lost come there and get saved. Seriously. But it's like, when the heart ain't right, when you got to get back to the root of it. That's where the ministry part is. Not necessarily at the Dove Awards.
No. and the ministry and the people that are coming in, irrespective of the heart posture of those that are quote unquote singing or performing, it's the heart posture of the people that are hungry for God, and He will use that to draw them to Him, and still, hopefully, in the midst of their performance or singing or worshiping, that they will, number one, they will encounter them for themselves. Everybody needs to encounter them for themselves.
Yeah.
No matter what. Praise and worship leader, choir, soloists, band members. I mean, my goodness, we can talk about the band. You know, who's ministering to the musicians?
Nobody. You know? But that don't mean
and a lot of them are struggling. And a lot of them
that don't mean that person wasn't led to go to that church. It might mean that pastor ain't accepting the assignment to do what they're supposed to do. These ministers, these musicians ain't getting poured into, and very few of them even want to at this point because so many pastors have let them down. So I'm just saying, let's raise the leader lid. Let's raise it, and not just point to the award shows. Let's go back to, if we really want to talk about ministry and gospel, the good news, let's go back to the church. Let's figure out where the flaws are in the church internally, so then we can fix what's broken inside of the broken family, and then we can actually reach out for the lost and let the music be the soundtrack of that journey.
Absolutely.
Like, the music is just the soundtrack. It's not the music. It's not the thing. It's the soundtrack of the thing. The thing is us putting feet on the streets and ministering to people. Like, we ain't doing that because we too busy bucking in church. Like, what are we doing?
Ooh, this conversation went. I love it.
We definitely have to bring back on and have a follow-up conversation and some of this, because I think, while initially, sure, we hopped on, and for everyone else that is still here that is coming through, Jay is going to be there, Titus Showers, Will Johnson is going to be at the Urban Soul Cafe pre-Duff Party, Monday, October 16th. Get your tickets, the link that's pinned. You guys want to show up there, definitely meet them there. You want to be there. You want to enjoy everything that's happening. Jay, a lot of the stuff discussed tonight, definitely I feel as though it was necessary.
Yes, absolutely.
And
it was.
More conversations like that. There was a lot of points you made for sure when it comes to just even keeping, looking at one thing as your career versus, looking at one thing as just what you're doing for ministry and what you're doing for that. There's a lot of great points. And I think, having a part two and a follow on, just a candid conversation, I'm definitely looking forward to that again, because there's a lot that was said and there's a lot of great points. So I appreciate you 100% for your realness as well too.
Girl, well, I love you to life. You know that. You already know that. And it's so good to see you. And let's talk. Well, I definitely want you to leave before we talk about what is new for Jay, because you on your Instagram, you got new location, you got lights, you got stuff going on.
Honey, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on.
Come on.
It's a whole lot going on.
This is Indigo Inspired Live. Oh, somebody always gives us a little bit of something that they don't give anybody else.
Yes.
Just give us a little bit.
Well, I have a lot going on. I just released a song with the Story Collective, with Sam Collier and One Chance. It's called God Like You. We partnered up with Rethink Label, Story Collective, and Capitol Records, and put this song called God Like You out. We have a visual coming up in about a week, so go ahead and download that. It's called God Like You, Story Collective, featuring me and a guy named One Chance. And I also have a TV show I'm working on that we'll be releasing in the spring. I've partnered with Tomorrow app and Women of Tomorrow, and I'm going to be the new face of Women of Tomorrow. Super excited about that. I also have new music coming out. I'm actually doing a showcase. I moved to Atlanta, and God told me all gas, no brakes. This time it's about me. I have no excuses. I have no distractions. He said, all gas, no brakes. Let's go. And so currently now I'm in Mexico, writing new music, but I'm also writing my keynote, because I'm a John Maxwell leadership coach and speaker. And so writing my keynote and putting some fine tunes on my book. So I got a lot of things going, and I'm writing for a bunch of people. I teamed up with Teddy P, who's my primary producer. He has produced a lot for
Yeah.
Jordan Armstrong, for Keandra Rocket.
Keandra,
We've also partnered with Q Parker of 112.
Yeah.
And we've been writing for a bunch of people. So it's just super fun. A lot of things. And God talked to me a little bit ago about the parable of the 5 talents. You know,
yes.
The one that got 5 talents.
You're in my head. You're in my head. You're already in my head.
Yeah.
There was one that has 2 talents and one that had 1. And the one with 1 buried his talent, but the one with 2 doubled it, and the one with 5 doubled it. And so I just know that I'm a 5 talent person. Like when God has given me so many different gifts that I didn't ask for, that was also coupled with a lot of trauma that I didn't ask for. God said, now is the season for me to use it all. Nothing missing, nothing broken, nothing wasted, you know? And so, and my promise to God is, as long as I live, I'll try to double it. You know, I'll keep doubling it. And so, so I'm going hard on all of it, on singing, speaking, writing, producing, creative directing, all of it. TV. Why not? Like, why not be able to do everything God's called me to do, you know?
Absolutely. And see, Patrice, speaking about doubling it, you know, she's going to be at the pre-Doves party, where she's also doing the red carpet at the after party with the Doves. So, you know, she's speaking about doubling it. So you add there.
Look like I might be getting my makeup done so I can play in that basketball game too. Because y'all know I didn't play nothing.
Listen. You know what? First of all, go for it. We got one shot at this, and go for it. Leave here empty. That you used every single gift that he gave you. So I'm really excited about what's happening. I'm so excited. Even in the midst of the fire, you struggled, but you did not release your hold on God.
Yeah. I loosened up some. I said, God, I don't know where you at. You taking a long time. Look, and but the thing about it is, he held on to me. Like that's the beauty of it, because I was like that's why I can speak so clearly and candidly about being one of those people that even in a family church, hurts. Even in a family, you know what I mean? Like you can't always just say that everybody chose the place that they, no, hurt badly and wondered where God was. Like, when is the vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, going to happen for me? Like, when is he going to show up for me? I've poured into so many people for all these years. When is it going to happen for me? And so, and a lot of that I still haven't seen the return of. I'm not waiting on those people to get theirs in return, but I'm talking about, where is that one blessing that I won't have room to receive? I've worked hard for everything I've gotten. So I'm really just working on me and working on my faith more. But like, seriously, I was like, God, where are you? Where I can have, I have way more empathy and understanding to people that try other things, just because I was in a place where I was just like, I don't know. I'm at a, like, God, it's make it make sense. Because going through a divorce during COVID, when it completely pulled the rug up under me, that was one of the hardest things I've ever experienced in my life. And still dealing with the aftershock and residuals of that, and not having the church really have my back and not reach out. Like, just wanted me to come and do media and music. That's a lot. That's a lot to deal with, to be like, where were you? When I'm bleeding out, where were you, church? And we're supposed to be the hands and feet of God. So it made me question all of my 40 years in ministry. Like, God, what is, like, the pastor's kid? What is this? Like, why, where's the church when I needed it? So for any of the people that are watching that have struggled, then I get it. I understand, but God is faithful, and he's showing up. He's showing up. He's showing up. And you just got to keep believing that he's showing up, and he is. And it might not look like you want it to look, but he's showing up, but we got to do our part. So I'm in a lot of therapy still. I speak my truth still. I set clear boundaries still, and I'm going hard at trying to show God that I'm grateful for every gift he's given me. So I'm going hard on all of them.
Well, I want to say.
Said, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jasmine.
No, I was going to.
Because I was looking for that.
Said the whole Jasmine said my kids asked to hear "Good Day" every morning and on the way to school, and I'm going to check out the new music.
That's so awesome. Then you're a tried and true fan, baby, because that was like 2011. Good Day. I love that.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. So Jay, I'll say, as we're closing, we saw the beginning, I guess, the new season for Joyce Myers Talk, and just the beautiful words that Joyce Myers said about the fact that it was obvious that you weren't there, but that they that was such a time of, I'm going to say, incubation for you, and an opportunity for you to be real during the midst, because you're doing that in the midst of everything that was happening.
Right.
And to see that the room was made for you to be vulnerable, to be poured into, because my goodness, if you have to go through something like that, I mean, I've watched Joyce Myers for 1,000 years, and if you want to be, sit with a mama bear, you can sit. That's a mama.
That's
bear.
a mama bear, and she done been through a lot. Been through a lot. I was super grateful to have that platform. When I started the Talk It Out podcast with Joyce Meyer, I thought I was happily married. I thought I was. I started that podcast thinking, because I'd already worked for Joyce almost 6 years by that point, because the podcast has run 4 years. And so I thought I was happily married, and who knew that COVID would happen? Who knew that, I'd find out that everything that was happening in my marriage, and then end up getting served divorce papers. Who knew? And then being able to have that platform to talk it out and really shift the attention off of me and into how can this story help someone else has been such a huge blessing. It's been such a huge encouragement to me, so and then closing that chapter, they've gone a different direction now, and now that I've moved to Atlanta, is now God saying, all right, you did that well, now here, time to do your thing, time to do what I put inside of you, because I've used that as crutch. I use my marriage as a crutch. I use being a mom as a crutch. I use working for other ministries as a crutch. I use doing hooks for the Reach Records people for a crutch. I use, singing backgrounds. He's like, no, go full, all gas, no brakes on what I've given you. And so it's scary, very scary. I'm not working for a church anymore. I'm starting I'm working for myself. I have my own company, entrepreneurship. It's a very scary place to be, but I'm trusting God. I'm like Peter walking on water, staring at him like, don't fail me now.
And he's not. Carlos, don't try to get sentimental now. Your story blessed me even as a single man. I think he meant that.
He did mean it. He's told me that, though. Thank you, Carlos.
That's awesome.
Right.
Well, I mean, any other additional questions from you, Sherwin, for Jay?
No, I got it. I'm gonna hit up Jay. I gotta figure out that new song. I gotta, feature her in some stuff, because she's out here crushing it. So I definitely gotta connect. Yes. for sure. But
please
no, I mean,
do.
This is definitely this is awesome. No, I appreciate everything. Just kind of you, pouring out and just sharing your heart, sharing the season that you're in, and definitely, continue to cover everything that's happening within that season. And for everyone else, again, you guys tap in Monday, October 16th. If you've ever seen her, host, you've ever been in her presence, she's going to have you cracking up, and it's going to be a good time. So, come on out. Back to you, Patrice.
For sure. And once again, she's doing that double dipping. So she's going to be there at the Root Magazine event, hosting the red carpet, I believe, with Travis Green as well that night. So
yes. So excited for both of the events.
Yeah. So listen, you out here, all gas, no brakes, baby.
All gas, no brakes. This is the time for it.
Brakes. All right. Well, thank you so much, Carlos. Thank you so much once again, Urban Soul Cafe, for trusting the Collab Show to bring spotlight to what is happening in the music industry. Thank you to our guests. I am Will Johnson, Titus Showers, who was with us at the top of the show, as well as our sis Jay was in the building. Sherwin, so good to see you. So good to be back with you.
Likewise.
Summer. And we're taking off for a brand new season. Thank you so much for being here for the inaugural season. Make sure you follow here, my brother, on Instagram here in the Gospel Music Buzz with 3 Z's here on IG, and Gospel Music Buzz on all the other social media platforms. Please don't forget to follow me here in Indigo Inspire Live, as well as Indigo Inspire, our apparel collection, which we are raising funds for supporting our outreach initiatives around the world, which is one of the jackets that I'm wearing. We'll talk about that a little bit later soon. So in the meantime, God bless you guys. Have a great rest of your week. And as always, it's not just a vibe here, baby. It's a whole mood.
Let's go. All right, y'all. Have a good one.